Religion, whether people want it or not, continues to be a major influence in this world. In fact, more than 9 out of every 10 Americans believe in God. It has been deeply interwoven throughout human history, during the best times and also during the worst times. Daily routines, politics, and wars have all been deeply affected by various religious perspectives and beliefs. Religion remains on the U.S. national currency in many forms of popular entertainment, and a Bible often finds itself in most hotel rooms. Religion clearly remains an important aspect of today's society. Hi, this is Mr. Mike Chadwick, and he's a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we're talking today about religion. How has religion impacted your life and your choices?
For me, my religion is not just a Sunday thing. My religion is an everyday event. And so for me, it's a cultural thing. I live my religion every single day. I see a lot of people who sometimes go to church just on Sundays, but then do things during the week that wouldn't be appropriate in my mind. Some things that probably Christ wouldn't want them to do. And I try to do stuff every single day to live my religion. So it's an everyday thing, it's a cultural thing for me. It's a way of life.
In Islam, Muhammad received revelation from Allah during about the same time frame Jesus was in Jerusalem. Muhammad's recitations of the angel's words were eventually written in a sacred text of scripture entitled the Quran. Mostly, this scripture has retained its original Arabic, except for a few translations into English. In the 23rd Shakar, second surah of the Quran, it states, "And if you are in doubt as to that which we have revealed to our servant, then produce a chapter like it, and call on your witnesses besides Allah if you are truthful." This Shakar caused me to think. It reminded me sharply of a lesson I had had just a short while previously in seminary. I remember my seminary teacher describing to my class of a specific meeting in the LDS church history. Joseph Smith Jr. was in the meeting along with some other elders. Apparently there were murmurings about the validity of a few of the passages in the Doctrine and Covenants. A corresponding revelation told the elders to pick the least among the sections in the Doctrine and Covenants and have the wisest amongst themselves write one of the same value. In both cases, challenges were made to replicate divine scripture, with the confidence that it could not be done. Through my study of various religions, I found that there is a similar thread of likeness which interwove each of the great religions. This is Mr. David Richards, and he is from San Diego, California. He's currently teaching English at Eagle River High School, roundabouts Anchorage, Alaska. He's happily married with 3 daughters, and he is Reformed Jew. Key aspects of your religion, like the main focal points.
The main focal points with Judaism is that it is often considered the first, if not one of the first, monotheistic religions. It is, if there were any others before, they are no longer in practice, but it is of the Abrahamic religions, it's the oldest, and it's the first one that said there was one God, and God was the creator. And there's also the idea of not only Abraham with God, but also Moses with God. And after, in the story, after Moses and the exodus of the Jews from Egypt, you then have the giving of the 10 Commandments. And you have basically a contract of sorts between the Israelites then and God. And God gave a certain amount of commandments, the 10 Commandments, right? You shall have I am the Lord thy God, you shall have no other gods before me. In turn, the Israelites said, yes, we will follow these lists and these rules, but you have to do things for us as well. You have to be our God, and you have to protect us when we need it. And so there's always been a certain amount of back and forth between what can be asked or expected of God versus what is expected of a devout follower. Jews are also known as the people of the book because more than anything, they were known for reading and studying. And there's something called the Talmud, where it is basically a discussion in written form of various rabbis over the course of centuries that are writing in response to questions that different people have had about different aspects of the Bible, or what the Christians call the Old Testament. And so, with the Talmud and your rabbi, you read the Tanakh, or the Bible, the same thing, and you try and find your relationship with God through those things.
One fact which surprised me this semester is the level of religious tolerance which does exist. There is not a complete understanding or knowledge of every religion and every person. However, as I discovered in American Mormons, there's a great base knowledge which exists in most people.
I believe that people can worship how, where, what they may. And I'll let them do whatever they want to do, and I'll do whatever I want to do. So I respect the other religions. I think they all have good things to offer.
My religion is my personal truth and my way of accessing God. It's the way that best fits me. And I think the same way then about other people's religions and other people's views of God. Because it's the best way for them to think about God and have access to that idea and that spirituality.
This past semester, I was able to attend a meditation locally. This meditation was an amazing experience, but I especially loved learning about the Tibetan monks, which naturally live in Tibet. Their current situation is rather heartbreaking. Their Dalai Lama, which has led the Tibetan people for an incredible length of time, has been overthrown and now resides in exile. Religious persecution, to my sorrow, is not only a problem of the past, but continues through the present. Throughout this project, my feelings on religion have been able to expand beyond my own beliefs. I have been able to recognize religion's impact as a whole on society instead of just Christianity's impact. Through my realizations, I am now able to see the cultures and actions of various peoples with a greater light of understanding.